life just keeps moving. Roll up your doobies and ride to the music. It could be bumpy, it could be smooth. Don't stop for shit, just keep doing you. Ain't nothing niggas say to you. Ain't nothing to it.
Oh man. Everywhere you turn, the damn great leader bike debate pops up. And that's okay. Debate is okay. But the question is, do you honestly really need a leader bike? Do you really need a motorcycle, though? You know, one could really argue. In the case of, I'm sure, all of us, yes, we do need a motorcycle. So that question is answered. But do we need a leader bike? No. We don't. We don't need a leader bike. We don't need today's leader bikes. Let me put it a little bit better that way. And what I mean by that is I'm talking about these close to 200 horsepower or 200 horsepower leader bikes that are so demanding of a bike that we have to add all the electronic gizmos just to make it rideable, i.e. wheelie control, traction control, anti-lock brakes, semi-active suspension. All of these things are really needed on most of today's leader bikes just to make them rideable. And I think I've told you guys before, I think that makes riders lazy riders. We're not understanding the finite ability of throttle control and how to finesse the throttle. We're not understanding what our suspension is telling us through feedback, because the computer's automatically adjusting on the fly how the valving in there and everything like that, and how fast the compression should be, and how fast the rebound is, and all that. So we don't know how to get out there and set up our suspension properly. We just turn on a button and ride. And a very good point that I read in an article stated that that goes along with the laziness of a rider is that with all of these things on today's leader bike, it's not teaching you how to be a rider. All these things are doing is teaching you how to get from point A to point B without killing yourselves. That's it. You know just enough to say, okay, I can make it here. I can make it to work. Alright, cool. But it's not teaching you like, oh, let's get into a deep corner. Let's get into a deep curve, and, oh, what the fuck was that? Here's a little wheel slipped a little bit. Why did that wheel slip? You don't know. Because it's doing it for you. The bike's automatically thinking all this shit for you. And so, you get out there, and let's just say you hop on your buddy's bike. Let's just say you have an R1 and your buddy has an R6. And so you jump on your buddy's R6 because, man, your buddy has been itching to try that R1. So you oblige him. And now all of a sudden you're going through that same corner again. And you take that same line. And the wheel slips. You have no clue what the fuck to do. You dump your buddy's bike. Right? You forgot some of the basic things that make us a rider, because the bike is doing everything for you. And that's just because of the way that the manufacturers are building these bikes, because it's also catering to us, you know, or what they think is catering to us. We want these super bikes. Oh, what do you mean only 198 horsepower? I want the full 200. So they run out and build you a full 200, knowing damn well that the power to weight ratio, it can only be handled by the likes of Guy Martin, you know, Freddie Spencer. The average rider can't control that much power to weight ratio. So what can we do to fix it? Oh yeah, let's put on these gizmos. So the gizmos go on. Another argument is they're uncomfortable. I don't believe that one though. Any bike is uncomfortable after a while. Comfort is relative, you know? Like I'm on my bike. One of the most notorious things about my bike is the stock seat. It is hard as shit. I've been only on the road for about 8 minutes now. And before, my ass would be killing me in the stock seat already. Hard. I'm starting to get uncomfortable, you know. And then I switched over to the Corbin seat, and it's fine. Shoot, the other day, I went for a 240 mile ride, and I was perfectly A-okay on it. The only thing that was bothering me is eventually, you know, your butt gets a little too hot. So I stand up, shake it out, sit back down, and I'm good. But other people, though, found the seat to be comfortable, and they're like, oh no, it's perfect for me. I could ride all day and all night on this thing. Okay. So comfort is a relative issue. It's, you know, meant to the rider. So I can't buy into that. The expense. Yeah. That's, you know, that's something to think about. You're normally spending a good $5 to $6 grand more. That's sometimes even about $7 grand more over a 600 to your 1000. You know, if you're financing, that adds up on your payment. You know, or if you're saving up, hey, would you rather spend $13,000 or $20,000? Well, if I saved up $20,000, you might be saying, well, then just buy the $20,000 bike. Yeah, but then I could pocket $7,000 and put all that towards modifications and upgrades if I bought a 600. So you have your, you know, but again, you know, finances, you could argue that that's relative to somebody, you know, where they prefer to spend all $20,000 in one place, or would you do it the way that I just said? Buy the 600, spend the $7,000 on mods and upgrades, and, you know, really mods are upgrades, guys. All right. Normally when you put something on your bike, you're putting something there to add performance to it. All right. Or you buy the cheap Chinese knockoff fairings, you know, and then you use those because regular fairings are just expensive as hell. So if you do get into a crash, well, you're just fucking up the cheap ones and not your real ones. That would be a mod that you're putting on that's not, you know, performance issued. Unless you put on, you know, like carbon fiber fairings. So now you're, you know, lowering the weight a little bit. Which will add to your, you know, put a little gain to your power to weight ratio there. So, but that's how I would do it. I think if I save 20 and I'm staring at, like, we'll go back to the R1 and the R6. I think I would rather prefer popping in the R6 and then buying the R6 and then popping on modifications and everything. That's just me. Because you could get those nice Oleans forks and rear, and then Akrapovic exhaust, Sato rear sets, whatever, Upgraded brakes. I don't know what the brakes are on the R6, but maybe they're Nissan, and they make a Brembo kit, and so you're like, I'm gonna go for the Brembos. Well, there you go. Fancy new gear, new tires, so you could take it track day racing, all that good stuff. What else was there? Oh, here's it. Leader bikes are stolen more often than 600s, the middleweights. It's true. And bike thieves, guys, they're getting brazen. They're stealing bikes in the middle of broad daylight from gated communities and all that other kind of shit. So they don't care. They don't care at all. And, you're asking yourself, well, why are the thousands over the 600s? Because when they sell them, they can get more money for them, right? 1,000 cc's is worth a lot more than 600 cc's at the dealership and anywhere else that you go. All right, and then two, everybody wants them. We feel that we've outgrown our middleweight, and we want to go somewhere else. So, in the used market world, if you're only looking at a difference of $1,000 to $2,000 versus $7,000 brand new, well, that's a lot more marketable, isn't it? It's a lot more doable to you. So you're more willing to do that on the used side. So somebody says, oh, well, here. And they've just made $2,000 extra for fucking stealing a bike. Insurance companies are going to charge you even more of a premium because of that. Not only because you have more horsepower, but because they're more likely to be stolen. And so they're going to have to pay you. They're going to have to pay out to you, aren't they, when you report it as stolen? The list goes on and on and on. Well, let's get down to the meat and bones of this. It comes down to what you want. There's no need in this case. You don't need a leader bike. Alright? You want a leader bike. And that's fine. Do what you want to do. You're a human being. You have the freedom of choice. Get it done. I'm not ever going to talk you out of it unless you're a brand new rider. Then I'm going to fucking come through the interwebs and bitch smack you. If you're saying, oh, I want 1,000 for my first bike. Here's a fucking pimp hand across your face, you dumbass. But once you've ridden for a while and understand the complexities of riding, and then you're like, hey, it's been about 5-6 years. I'm really kind of tired of this. And I'm looking for a new bike. And you just keep coming back to that R1. You're like, well, I really like this R6 or that 600RR or that Gixxer 600, whatever. Right? But your eye always keeps turning over to that R1. Buy it. Go ahead and do it. You don't ever want to have buyer's remorse. When I was in the business of retail and selling and shit, I was on semi-commission, so we made a fixed percentage of it, and then the rest was, our hourly wage. And It wasn't like I got to say, oh, this is the price of this, and because of that price, now I make 10% commission on this item or anything like that. It was more like, nope, you're at a fixed 3% commission. So I had no issue telling people that are looking at spending a couple $1,000s on an item and telling them, look, when you go home, are you going to have buyer's remorse next week? You know, throughout the week, are you going to look at this and say, damn it, I should have really have gone and gotten this? If you think you're going to do that, go get the other one. So if you're looking at your car or your motorcycle and you pick up an R6 and you're like, fuck, I really should have gone for that R1. Buy the R1, guys. That's a lot of money to be sitting there and saying, I really should have done this. I really should have done that. And now you're going to be unhappy with it until your payments are done. Or until you think you could sell the bike enough to get get from out from underneath that payment. So, to Americans, our motorcycles are hobbies. They're toys for us. I'm going to go ahead out there and put out there 95% of us. Whereas in Europe, 95% of them, it's a commute. It's a way of life. It's how they get to work every single day. They only own a motorcycle and that's it. But to us, Americans are always going to stick to our cars. Look at these huge things. I'm surrounded by them, you know? And then we feel that our motorcycle is just the toy. It's the weekend hobby thing. And we write articles and we make gear and everything towards that ideal. That we're only going to use this on the weekend. So, and guess what? Those R1s and new leader bikes are also geared towards that. Your tires are only going to last you about 2,000 miles. So if you ride only every weekend, that might just be it, right? You might every summer, or at the beginning of every next summer, you're going to have to spend $300 on a new tire. So that was a little Bonneville. I don't know if you guys caught that glimpse, but yeah, so get what you want to get, guys. Do what's going to make you happy. Don't listen to any of the big guys yelling at you, saying you don't need it. Don't listen to me saying that I don't need it. Because in the end, it's your decision. It's your choice. It's your money, period. If you know you're going to be happier with the R1 than the R6 or, you know, the CBR 1000 or the, you know, CBR 600, then do it. But make sure, all I'm asking is please make sure you have at least 5 years of riding under your belt. Alright guys, that's me. That's my opinion. And I'm out.